Joining me now to discuss labor matters in Nigeria is Akinkunmi Olawoyin. Akinkunmi is a pro-labor and youth activist. Good to see you. Now, how will you describe the plight of the Nigerian worker as the world celebrates Workers' Day?
Thanks so much. As evident, the Nigerian working class are passing through what the most difficult times in their entire history. Their welfare, their well-being, nothing to write home about. With a minimum wage of 30,000 naira, which translates to $72 US dollars, using the official exchange rate of 415 naira to dollar, and which approximately translates to $50 if we are to use the black market, which is the more realistic and accessible market for dollars in Nigeria. It is the most hopeless minimum wages that you can one of the most hopeless minimum wages that you can come across. Just to give you, to paint a story for you, as of 1999, when Nigerian Labour Congress fought for a new minimum wage of 7,500 naira. 7,500 naira translates to nothing less than $341 at the exchange rates of 22 naira per dollar in 1999. So what that translates to is that from the official rates of $341 that workers were earning in 1999 to what they now earn now, which is $72 if we are to use the official rates. It means that there is a 78.8%, almost 80% in decline in the real income of the working class in Nigeria. You can just imagine when your wage has actually fallen by a whopping 78.8%. That is the kind of situation that the Nigerian working class has found themselves today.
Let me jump in here, Akinkunmi, and let's dig in deep, if you don't mind. For instance, governments of Taraba State, Cross River, Abia, and Zamfara states have all failed to commence the payment of the arrears of national minimum wage, which you're trying to, highlight, owing to the. They've also owed workers, and they've also shown their inability or reluctance to clear the backlog of pension arrears owed its retirees. So what do you think is responsible for this? And is the organized labor done, with, its protests and agitations as to not push for this?
Okay, maybe we should also make something clear. I'm not a representative of the Nigerian Labour Congress.
I haven't said that.
So just for the purpose of clarity, it's unfortunate that the Nigerian Labour Congress, the TUC, which are the two major labor centers, have not really taken these issues up with the respective governments the way they should. Ordinarily, you have state governments who claim not to have money to pay salaries of workers, buying vehicles for traditional rulers, displaying ostentatious living, obscene display of wealth by elected, officials and even appointed officials of all these respective governments. So the fact of the matter is that workers' salary comes last in the priority of the majority of these state governments. So without a fight back by the Nigerian Labour Congress, by the TUC, mobilizing their rank and file to pressure all these governments to obey the law of the land, because the minimum wage is not just an economic issue, it is also a legal issue. If you are not paying the minimum wage, you are violating the law. So this state government must be taken upon by the organized trade unions to make sure that they pay the backlog of salaries and also the pensions, because a laborer is worthy of his wages. So these are some of the things that we expect the Nigerian Labour Congress, with facts and figures, to show that it is actually possible to pay these salaries. But the government have just been extremely, for want of better word, irresponsible in meeting the demands of workers in the state nation.
Now, looking at the state of the economy in Nigeria, a report by Picodi, that's an international e-commerce company, published Friday, said the value of essential food products for the healthy living of an adult in a month at the beginning of 2022 stood at 40,980 naira. That's higher than the 30,000 minimum wage in Nigeria, which you just talked about. Now, this also represents about 15.89% increase compared to the beginning of 2021. So what's your take on the call by some unions that the minimum wage is further increased? And in your opinion, what should be the appropriate minimum wage, going by your analysis from 1999 till this moment?
Okay. The minimum wage is actually tied to the rate of inflation and is supposed, based on the agreement with the government, is supposed to be reviewed, periodically. Based on the analysis given, that it takes about 40,000 naira for food alone for an adult to survive in today's Nigeria. You can just imagine what it means for a worker that is on level 7, level 8, whose total wage may not be more than 80,000 naira, and have a family of 3 children with a wife, maybe a family of 5 in total. So theoretically, based on even that research, it shows that the current minimum wage cannot even cover the cost of food for a month. And that minimum wage and the data given corresponds even with the data released by the National Bureau of Statistics, that the official inflation rate in Nigeria today stands at 15.7%. Based on the analysis given earlier, that in 1999 you had a minimum wage of 7,500 that translated to $341 per month. So if we were to go by that analysis alone, that we are not even increasing the dollar value of this minimum wage. The minimum wage in Nigeria today, based on the current exchange rate of 415 naira, should be standing around 141,515 naira per month. And these are not figures that are outrageous, because if you even compare ourselves with some of our neighbors, you see that Nigerian workers are one of the most pauperized, workers, even on the continent. So, the Nigerian Labour Congress, the TUC, must rise up and engage the government further. That the management of economy, every other thing that this regime has done, has made it imperative for the Nigerian, minimum wage to be upwardly reviewed, and that the direction of government, in which, just as the SAPTU spokesperson just stated, should be for the welfare of the Nigerian people, not caving to pressure by the international, finance capital, by the IMF, by the World Bank, whose policies have actually popularized the working class on the continent.
All right, Akinkunmi,
So,
I'm afraid it's a fine place for me to say many thanks for being such a nice company. Akinkunmi Olawoyin, who's a pro-labor and youth activist. Many thanks for your time.
Thanks so much.